Hello friends. So today we are going to talk about SP underscore MS for each DB system stored procedure. Right. So as usual, the agenda would be understanding, what is SP MS for each DB and then a practical demo. So this is basically, the undocumented system stored procedure from Microsoft. When we say undocumented means no support is being given from the Microsoft, right? So it has been to be used solely on our own risks, right? But still it is being widely used by DBAs across the globe. Okay. Why? Because this procedure actually iterate to each database on an instance, right? So many a times for the DBAs it is required that for an instance on an instance if there are 100 databases, right? And if you want to perform some common task across all the databases, then it becomes very difficult and cumbersome, or you will have to write a long script initially and then you can achieve this, right? So for example, if you want to know the file size for each database, right? For that matter, if you want to check and uh, change the compatibility level or maybe the recovery model for each and every database, then you will have to write a good long script to achieve this, and that's where this SPMS for each DB is very helpful for us. Of course, though it is undocumented, but basically generally it completes the task without any errors, right? So yeah, let us see in action. Let me open the management studio environment uh, and yep, right. So here, if you can see, I have like three. Here I have only four databases. Okay, but this can be used maybe for two or four database, or generally it would be very useful to get the details from maybe more than 4, 10, 15 or 100 databases on an instance. That may be possible. Okay. So currently what I want is that I want to know the file size, the file group name, right, for each and every, like for the system databases also and master databases also. Okay, so basically I have this query in place. Let me show you that what I want. Okay, right. So I have this query in place. Okay, so for example, currently, the pivot demo database is selected, and it shows me the primary file name and the log file name, right? The location of that file name on an instance or on a server, the size of that files for the data file and log file both, and the file group for the data file. But what if I want to, actually do this for all the databases from system databases and the user databases both? So one way is that, I just execute this query on all the databases and then I can get the information, or else I can write this big coding. I do some coding here. So what I have done is initially I have taken the list of databases and then I have iterated this and for then individual databases I have got this information. Okay, the same query is fired, but here you can see I'm getting the database name from my temporary table which I have already generated here, and then one by one database I am accessing, firing this query on each database. Okay, so when I execute this, you can see here we get the information of each and every database. So for example, Adventures to Works 2019 file name, file location, the size of the file, and the file group name. Okay, and this is for all the databases on a instance, right? But now you can see overall total uh, lines of code which I have written is 31. Okay, so to minimize this, or to to do this very quickly instead of writing this many lines of code and then testing that, to minimize this, we can use SPMS for each DB. right? So let us see how this simplifies, like this 31 lines of codes, how we can achieve this in very, either a single line of code or maybe 2 to 3 line of codes, right? So basically, SPMS for each DB, the very important is this question mark here. So you can do whatever. So for any database, if you want to, fire any statement, then you will have to use this question mark. This question mark is replaced by database. So what SPMS for each DB does internally is internally it does the same thing, that it iterates through each database, and then each database is replaced, this question mark is replaced by that database for each iteration. Okay, so for example, first of all, it starts with the system master database, then it will say, okay, use master, and then you can again write the database. The same question mark can be used everywhere in the query. So what here I'm doing, that I'm saying, okay, use master and then fire this query for master. As we have used the database, this query would get fired onto the master. Then would come model. So use model, then this query would get fired on model. Then MSDB and so on. So you can see I have just this 5 lines of code here, 5 to 6 lines of code, and I can get the same information which I got by writing this 31 lines. Okay, so when I execute this, and it doesn't matter whatever database is selected here. Okay, when I execute this, I get the same output. So you can see here we have got file database name, file location, and the file size and the file group name. Right. So this was one example. I'm going to show you like several examples here. Uh, This was one of the example. Then comes like if you want to, find the number of database objects, right, in each database, right? What are the number of database objects and then total number of objects. So type of objects and total of objects. Again, the same thing. You just write your query here. So here what I have done, I'm again using the database name with MS for each DB, and then I'm selecting, and then I have write it, I have written this query from sys objects. Okay, so when I execute this query, you can see I get the information very quickly for each and every database. So you can see it's a very long list. For each database, we have got information like, a database name, a type of object here, and this is internal type of object is, this is object name, and the type of object is internal table, and you can see number of objects, which means total internal tables in master database are 22, and total objects altogether, total objects in master database are 115. So similarly, if you go to Adventure Works 19 database, right, then you can see here, give me a second. Okay, so Adventure Works 19. So you can see here total check constraint defined on Adventure Works 19 database are 89, and total DB objects, that is it comprise of all the type of objects like constraints, foreign keys, tables, views, procedures, triggers, and everything. So total check constraints are 89 and total objects are 850. Similarly, you can see here total default constraints are 242 and total objects are 650 and so on. So this type of information also you can get. So for example, now if I want to get the login details for each and every database user details, this is very important, right? If you have hundreds of database and if you want to find that who has access and what database users are existing, if you quickly want to generate a report, right, then you can use this immediately with the simple line, simple 3 lines of codes. So I have used this sys.sys users, and I have excluded some logins. But if I execute this query, you can see here, so master contains this many DB users, and you can see here the user type as whether it is an SQL user or a login or a Windows user. So you can see here these all are SQL users. So let me show you the difference. In my pivot DB, you can see this is one user called US2, and in my source DB there is a user called US1. So this way you can get the information very quickly on the database users who are actually using these databases and when those were created and all such stuff, right? Now, now this was related to getting an information, but there are times that for all the databases, you want to have some common configuration done. Okay, so here I have taken two such common configuration. For example, recovery model and the compatibility level. So here I have some user-defined database. Let us see first of all what they, what compatibility level and recovery model exist for them. Okay, so if you can see the compatibility level are very different 110, 120, 130 and 140, and even recovery model for these two databases it's simple, and these two databases is for full. So for example, I know this is in development environment and no backups and everything is happening, so I don't require any full recovery model. Unnecessary logging is happening. So what I'm doing, I want to make this very simple, because these databases are actually created at certain point of times by different users, so they were not aware and they have just created with different compatibility level or recovery models. Okay, so as an activity, right, I want to make this common. So I want to make this recovery model simple for all the databases, and similarly compatibility level latest, that is 150 for all my databases. Okay, so you can do that as well. So here, of course, until now you have seen that we have directly written the query for each DB. Now we are actually creating a command operator, command variable. Of course, this can be also written directly also, but just I want to show you how that you can pass a command also. So I have declared a variable command, and then I'm writing a dynamic script here. So what I'm saying, if again I'm saying that if this database, right, whatever database is there, is not in master TimeDB model and MSDB, right, then I'm performing some actions, because I don't want to change the recovery model and the compatibility level of the system databases, only for the user databases. So what I'm saying, okay, if the database which is being selected currently during the iteration is not from this databases, then go and fire this statement, that is alter database, again here the database name, and then set recovery to simple. Okay, simple. And then I am passing this command to my MSP MS for each DB. Okay, it's very simple. So when I execute this, and then when I check this, now you can see all the database are actually, you know, the recovery model for all the database is made simple. Okay. Similarly, if I want to change the compatibility level is still different. So again, the same query, just here instead of alter database set recovery, I had said alter database set compatibility level to 150. And then when I execute this command, this script, and when I execute this query, you can see now the compatibility level of all the database is set to 150, right? So this way, not only selecting, right, but you can, actually change the configuration. If you want some common configuration to be applied to all the database under that instance, then you can do that as well, right? And you can make this as, you can write such script and you can make this as a part of your, like a regular database checks and changing the configuration from time to time, right? So this is very helpful system stored procedure. Of course, it is undocumented, but in my career, I have not seen any issues using that. So hope this helps, guys. You can try it on yourself. Using this SPMS for each DB. Let me know, your thoughts on in the comments. And if you like this video, please press the like button, and also subscribe to the channel, so that you will get notification for each video I upload from now onwards, so that you don't lose anything and benefit, you get benefit from it. Also, please share this videos with your friends and colleagues, so that everyone can benefit from it, right? Thanks for watching this video, guys. Meet you next time with the next topic. Till then, bye. Take care.